Well, hello, Steve. Hello, Christine.
Hi.
Hello.
We're going to try this again.
Okay.
We recorded it a couple of days ago, and it was my first time recording online for many years, actually. And we had an echo, but we have it resolved now, luckily. So, what's the name of your rescue?
We are Lucky Pup Dog Rescue.
And you're in what town? San Diego?
San Diego.
San Diego. And I found your post on Facebook very intriguing because a similar event happened to me recently, and a lot of my friends on Facebook know about how my dog that I helped save, we call him Hope, but his name now is Bentley. He was with a dog trainer that I was just so lucky to find out the night before the dog trainer was going to actually have Hope euthanized. It was just a weird circumstance. I found out. I'm like, what do you mean? You're going to kill the dog that I turned over to you to train? And I found out from your post the same thing happened to you.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, yeah, that did happen to us. We had pulled a dog from
San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. His name was Sandy, and Sandy had needed a little extra help. He was going to need a little extra training, so we found a trainer who actually came to us on a referral, and took the dog out there, left the dog, got a good understanding of what was going to happen, got updates on the dog's progress.
We paid her $1,000 for the first week. She said he was doing awesome. So he needs another week of training, so there's another $800 for the second week. Heading into the third week, our donor gave her $2,500 because she was doing such an awesome job, and he was coming right along.
Now, you guys, you told me before the last time I tried this interview that you tend to pull dogs that do have like behavioral problems.
Health problems and behavior problems. Yeah, we pull dogs that other rescues don't usually pull.
And you tell most people this. The trainer knew that, probably. Yeah, that's why you were taking the dog. What was your dog's name?
Sandy.
Sandy.
That's why Sandy was going to training, to her boot camp.
So you go above and beyond. You just don't pull a dog out and place it. You
No.
had somebody spending thousands of dollars.
One of our donors was, yes, and we do dogs with parvo. We've had dogs with distemper, broken bones, whatever it takes to get that dog ready to go to its home. So this to me is like if you had hired a vet and you had entrusted your dog to a vet. I mean, we had the same level of faith and commitment to this as we hired a professional. And she had him killed behind our back, and spent the next following 2 weeks saying that he was doing great. She was sending us fake emails with fake progress reports after he was dead in order to get a relinquishment from us so that she could take him into her rescue that she has and find him a home. And this is all documented in writing. It took us almost a year to find out what she had done because she lied. She said that the dog was hurt, that he went to the vet. And we were in just shock when we found out that she'd taken him to the vet, not to the vet, she'd taken him to the shelter and had him killed for $15 and never told us, tried to cover it up. So
In all your years of rescue, have you ever heard of anything like this?
No, who would?
Hold on a minute. Okay, here we are. And we're back. I think let's really focus on, for the purposes of why we're talking about this. Let's focus on what actually happened and what you want to happen and what we need to do to help you get whatever you need done. So I think the trauma here is that you took the dog as a rescue to a trainer, and the trainer killed the dog.
Correct.
And that, I mean, that's the one sentence. You know, anyone who takes a dog to a trainer, the last thing we ever would think is that the trainer would have the dog euthanized.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
The last,
And the
So
last thing, and then to cover it up by pretending the dog was still alive to get a relinquishment.
yeah, well, of course, if she killed your dog, she's lying. We
Yeah.
could only expect everything else from that point to be a lie.
you wouldn't, although in some cases I don't think you would expect everything after that to be a lie. We're amazed she has refused to accept any responsibility for this
Well, she's afraid of being sued.
to this point.
Well, you can't accept any responsibility, right? Because the minute you do, you're liable.
It's
Right.
frustrating. It's really
Yeah. So that's what's happened. What's the name of her business?
Shelter Dogs to Dream Dogs, and she's in El Cajon, Washington. I'm sorry, it's Shelter Dogs to Dream Dogs, and she's in El Cajon, California.
just outside of San Diego.
And when did this happen?
June 2014. So
And you went to the police, or what did you do? And no one did anything?
we filed a sheriff's report. We filed a report with the DA's office. We went to animal control. We went to Chula Vista, where they killed the dog that didn't belong to the person who brought it in. We went to the Better Business Bureau. We did Yelp reviews. She had the Yelp reviews removed. We did Angie's List. What else have we done? Just basically whoever you would think would advocate for the truth and some sort of justice for Sandy, they look the other way. They say, "Oh, that's a civil matter." So
Well, you haven't.
No, we haven't, and there's a big group of us that haven't.
Yeah, there's thousands of people that I'm just learning of this story, and I'll make sure thousands of people know on my end too. And what's most concerning for me is just that, you know, when I took Hope, I flew in a dog trainer from Idaho. We went and got a dog. I drove this trainer 19 hours up to Idaho to save this one dog, and within 3 days I found out she was going to kill it the next day. I was literally on my way home.
So did you suspect anything when you spent that much time with her?
No. I mean, all she told me was about how great she was, and she was a bully breed specialist, and I mean, we have videos. I had hundreds, if not thousands, of people following me on this journey. They saw the dog. We had to pull over and stay in a hotel at night. The dog slept with me on the floor, licked me, you know, all over the face. I mean, this was a kind dog. And one of the interesting things why I stood up for this dog is from the time I got it out, it had been in the shelter for 9 months, and I kept saying, well, was there any incident? Did Hope ever growl at anyone? Did Hope ever do anything recorded wrong? And they're like, well, no. This specific dog, long story short, bit a family member when the police were called. A husband and wife were having an argument. The sheriff showed up, and in the excitement, the dog bit their child. Now, It wasn't a severe bite, but it was a bite that broke the skin. So the city took the dog, put it in confinement. It became an evidence dog, stayed in there for 9 months, and the shelter was kind of irritated at me for even trying to get it out. Long story short, got the dog to Idaho. It's now in a no-kill shelter, and it's on their website right now up for adoption. And they've been working with it for over a month now, training the dog. They love the dog. They think it's a great dog. But the whole time, and this is why I bring it up, I never could find one person that said that this dog showed any aggression. You know, it's like, I know you're saying this is a vicious dog or it had something bad about it. What did it do? Well, no one could say anything. You know, I'm like, I work with lots of other dogs. Other dogs say, oh, it bit somebody while it was under our supervision. It charged another dog. It did something. It growled when we tried to feed it. But I think what happened in my situation is the trainer actually figured out, she took the dog into her home. She told me she was going to keep it at a boarding facility and go there every day and train it, which she didn't do. She took it into her own home. She has 3 other aggressive dogs, which she told me all the way going up to Idaho. She's like, I have 3 aggressive dogs. Yeah. So I find out the night she gets home, she took the dog into her home, which is an 800 square feet chalet up in the mountains where there's 4 feet of snow.
Oh.
And I'm like, that may not have been such a good idea, and when I found out she was going to kill the dog, I said, why did you do everything opposite that you told me you would never do? And now you're going to euthanize the dog? You wonder why it's behaving the way you say it's behaving? So it just goes on and on about how everything I thought was going to happen didn't happen. And she's held to no accountability. She tried to get everybody to hate that dog, and she lied, just like your dog trainer. That's why I think we want to work towards getting people who train dogs licensed.
There should be some sort of minimum standard.
And some accountability. I mean,
Yeah.
This woman is still advertising her boot camp for $1,000 a week to help dogs. And the next person that goes up there, we found she killed 2 other dogs the same way. It's public record. We pulled a public record at Chula Vista Animal Shelter, pulled her name, and there's 2 other dogs that she's done this to. Now, we don't know all the details about the situation about these dogs. We just know that there were 2 other ones. After she told us time and time again, this was the first time I've ever done this. I've never had to euthanize a dog before. This is the first time. And just like that, I was able to find 2 other ones. So that's 3 that she's done this to. And there's no accountability. The shelter won't stand behind to do the right thing.
Now, you have a picture of the dog. Cover up the face of the child, if you could, but just show us the dog.
You really can't see the child's face.
Okay.
She's looking away. She's looking back at Sandy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what is that? A little terrier?
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at the face of Sandy. Is that a cute dog?
Yeah.
That's not an aggressive dog.
Maybe the dog did something. Do you
Why?
think? You know what I mean? Maybe while under her training and she's trying to hide it.
Well, she told San Diego Animal Control that she was housing him in a tiny crate that we brought him in just for transport. Crate, he couldn't even turn around in this crate.
Right.
And she had the chain around his neck. And she said when she opened the door, he got caught in the chain and broke his leg. But we don't know if that's a lie, too, because Chula Vista, who took the dog and killed the dog, won't tell us what condition he was in. And she signed on the form it was for behavior. It was why she was euthanizing him.
And she didn't call you?
No, we were in touch that morning by email. That morning, she told me she was going to help me find him a home.
So now what?
So all we have left at this point is we can do a civil suit, and we are getting up to a deadline of June. Right now, we're trying to raise some money to help pay for legal fees. We're doing a t-shirt drive, and all the donations are tax deductible. We have a website where it's all set up. You can go right to the website, LuckyPupDogRescue.com, and you'll see right on the homepage there's a little picture of Sandy and the t-shirt. I don't know if you want to see the t-shirts that we're doing. I don't know if you were. They say justice for Sandy.
Good. Now, let's look at why do this, right? So if you win something, right? If you win this case, then other judges can use this as a precedent in resolving other issues like this, correct?
Yes, and this isn't, up until now, people think of in the legal system, dog is property. So it has, property value of X dollars. And there's more going on when you have a pet that's euthanized. There's more going on than property. It's a living being soul that you care about and that you went to heroics to save, and then to have somebody kill that, behind your back. I think if there's a bigger issue here. Um, just having some accountability. And the other part is you are leaving your animal there without it's not like you're taking your dog to training at Petco or PetSmart or at a daycare where you are there. You are leaving your dog entrusted to their care. And you're not there. There's a whole trust issue that you need to have.
Right. I mean, I think you're so involved in the situation. I think bottom line is that a dog trainer should be, if the dog has to have a license, so should the dog trainer. So should the veterinarian, right? I mean,
Yeah.
why would a dog trainer who euthanized your dog get away with it? I mean, there needs to be a protocol. Back when the loan mortgage crisis hit, a lot of people don't know that before 2008, bankers did not need to be licensed. And it wasn't until something really bad happened, like the entire global economy fell apart, that somebody thought it might be a good idea that when bad things happen, those people that caused it should have a license. So, I mean, here's a bad thing that's happened, and it really shows the need to have dog trainers licensed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so they can be held accountable, licensed, and in this state in California, your grandma could print up a business card and say she's an animal behaviorist and dog trainer. She could, and that would be that. She could
take your dog and have it euthanized.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to mention here was that she didn't just have the dog killed, but she took the dog. She drove 30 miles to where her friend works as the rescue coordinator at Chula Vista Animal Control. She drove past two other shelters that she could have stopped at and had the dog euthanized. But this was a Saturday afternoon. And so she drives all the way down to Chula Vista to where her friend was. And her friend took care of the euthanasia. So, for what it's worth, it sounds a little fishy.
Well, when she's saying he was so hurt that she took him to 3 vets and nobody could help him, so she had to have him euthanized. Nothing about the story that she's told matches up with facts or with logic.
It's all lies.
Because yes.
Oh, yeah. She's gotten to the point where she can't keep track of her lies. She's told so many.
So what we need to do is if everybody who watches this video donates $5 or $10. You take her to court, you win, and you begin to distribute Sandy's story in a way that empowers other people that are even thinking about, having aggressive dogs or any dog trained or leave them in the care of dogs. A big thing that I think could revolutionize rescues is having people do exactly what you did, and that's having people sponsor dogs to get the training they need to get. And the problem is there's so much we don't know about that a lot of people don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you win this case, and that's what's at stake, I mean, that's why people would want to contribute, is that we finally get something another lawyer or another judge could use to forward making these dog trainers get licensed. And then that's going to create more of a landslide effect of having people say, hey, I'm a licensed dog trainer. I can help your dog. I can fix your dog. And while it's under my care, I'll be responsible for the dog.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the importance of you moving forward. It's just not should you and, are you being mean or, it's like there's so much at stake for all dogs.
Absolutely. And I think she's just pinpoint this down to poor me. They're just bullies. They won't let this go. I don't see how you could let this go. We have been entrusted as a rescue. When we pull that dog, and when we pull a dog, we stay with that dog, whatever that dog needs. And it wasn't for her to decide to kill that dog.
No.
If that dog needed to be euthanized, Steve and I and our board of directors should have been weighed in on that and said, okay, what's going to be the best choice for Sandy? Not having someone take your money and pull some sort of scam.
Right.
It's a scam.
Well, and it's something I'm sure other trainers are doing.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
know, I mean, this isn't. I don't
Nice.
think this is an isolated case. Like I told you, I had another dog trainer lose the dog that somebody paid to train the same day that he got it. You know, and his excuse was, you know, he jumped over my back fence. But aren't you the trainer? Out of
No.
all, out of all the, and she paid, you know, $1,500 for the first week for him to be in the training. You know, so yeah. And you know he ended up dead, and he didn't go out. This, his name was Jose, the dog, Jose and Hope. But you know, we were all left with what's the trainer supposed to do when he loses the dog? He didn't do anything. He eventually got around one day to help the person who adopted Jose hand out flyers, but we didn't have any. We didn't know. Can we sue him? Should we sue him? Do we want to create a bad reputation for him? Do we alert everybody to the trainer and his?
Yeah, we've gone through all of these things. You're thinking, well, we're really nice people. We're rescue people. Do we want, do we want to? We've gotten pushback from this. People are like, oh, you just want attention. You just want to get money for this. I mean, just pushback for, you know, we are the victims. It's cut and dry. We were victimized by this person.
absolutely.
And she saw us coming. Okay, now we put the whole thing together. She saw this whole thing, and she thought she could get away with it.
Yeah, the lady up in Idaho, her whole thing was she tried to get everyone to believe that the dog was just so aggressive that it had to be put down. And that's what made me, like you, fight even harder.
Yeah,
So,
it was a lie.
yeah, you can go. I mean, where Bentley, his name is Bentley, his Hope and Bentley, two names, but he's on their website right now at Panhandle, and you can call and talk to them. He's great with people. He's okay with other dogs, but no incidents.
Mhm.
So how is this? How is this vicious dog that was, the system labels these dogs and they get in and they use that label. Like trainers know they can label the dog and get done. They can go into a shelter and euthanize using like, oh, I'm a dog trainer. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they do know, that doesn't mean they should legally be allowed to go around your authority as the rescue
And the owner, we were
and
legal.
owner and make
legal.
these types of choices.
Yeah.
It really is criminal, in my opinion. You did business transaction with her.
Mhm.
She broke that. She's denying it. It's fraud. It's fraudulent. You know,
Absolutely.
and you're left there with no answers. You did get your money back, I think, right?
Yes, we went to small claims court, and that's how we found out what she really did, because we subpoenaed San Diego Animal Control, who knew what she had done and kept it from us for 6 months.
Yeah.
They didn't give us the report. And Chula Vista, neither of them would turn over the information without a subpoena.
You know,
So
and
that's how we found out.
it's just horrific. And to anyone who says you do any of this to gain support or money, you should, because you're doing God's work by protecting these animals, and you're telling a story that people need to support. And these are the fights we need to fight.
Mhm.
That was my partner walking behind. You can't probably see him, but so I applaud you and
Thank you.
acknowledge you that you're caring for a dog that could not care for himself. You recognize that. You put him in the care of a trainer that was supposed to care for the dog, and
Help him.
she killed it. What's your website again where people can donate?
It's luckypupdogrescue.com.
And I want to encourage you to pursue that civil suit, because it may feel weird and you may not know where the money's coming from. I want to continue to follow this story and continue to encourage people to donate to you to pursue that, because I think just my own experience, 2 trainers gone rogue. now
And
3.
you're unusual because most people can't wrap their head around this. They just can't fathom it. Like, how could this happen? Are you sure this happened? Are you sure it wasn't a miscommunication? But because you have had similar experiences, I mean, you know what you're saying.
I know. I know. I was left too in a state. I haven't even really had time to think about what happened because you're so in a state of panic. You unfortunately you couldn't do anything. She didn't even give you an opportunity to go back and get the dog.
Its body. We couldn't get the crate. When I found out, she sent a text message to the donor, not to us. I got in touch with her. I said, we want to get his body because we want to get him. And we didn't know that he'd been dead 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There was no getting his body back. There was nothing. He was put in a bag and left behind the shelter to be hauled off to the rendering factory.
Right. The whole time you thinking he was fine.
Yes. Yeah. That was her idea of solving her Sandy problem, was leaving him there.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to the two of you, and just know that I'm, stunned by it, but I'm also motivated by finding you, and knowing that you're not alone in this. And I want anyone watching this video right now, if this has happened to you, or you know of other people that this has happened to, please comment below on this story, and also email this rescue and let them know through email and through your financial support that you had this experience happen to you, because you never know where this might go. 2 years down the road from now, we might be standing up in front of the governor saying, we need to make laws about these kinds of things. If we can get 100 or 200 stories about, dog trainers situations gone wrong, what if there's hundreds of these situations?
I can only imagine that there are just.
And where does this bleed over into? Like when you drop your dog off at doggy daycare, are they going to euthanize your dog? Or these dog hotels where you go on vacation and you come back and you have a dead dog? I mean, what are our rights, as these new businesses start to pop up? What rights do we have on being notified of, your pet being euthanized? I mean, it's a Pandora's box, but we need to take it on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, or your dog could be hurt, at a doggy daycare, and they wouldn't euthanize the dog. They wouldn't choose to do that. I mean, They would call you. It's a business. I mean, who would do that?
Well, we know one. What's her name?
Kate Sachs at Shelter Dogs to Dogs.
We know one person.
Yeah.
And Christine Means in Idaho, she was the person who did that to Hope. Well, thanks, Steve, and thanks, Christine. And let's get this. Let's share your video and get a conversation going about this. Get some donations coming in, and please, if this has ever happened to you or know of someone that this has happened to, comment below. I want to know: is this really a problem facing people all over the nation? Maybe all around the world this is happening. Dog trainers gone rogue. All right, thank you guys for watching. I told you I'd bring you some interviews, so I think this is a really interesting topic, and we want to know what you think about. Thank you guys for participating.
Of
Thank
course, thank you.
And we'll talk to you again.
Okay.
All right, bye from LA.
Bye from San Diego.
Bye.